You're here at CEU for a series of executive seminars with people from around the region and around the globe. What brought you here to Central European University?
Well, there's a couple of reasons. I've known John Shattuck, the president and rector of Central University, for over 30 years. He invited me. But I must say that the opportunity to play a lead role in the kickoff of this executive lecture series, I found that to be extremely interesting and inviting. Frankly, the opportunity for me to come here to this great university and have a chance to engage in the School of Public Policy with students and executives, not only from the United States, but from all over the world. Last night, in the kickoff lecture, I met with students and executives from Serbia, Romania, China, Russia, the old Baltic republics, Mexico, Ethiopia. I mean, the idea that you sit around a table and you engage firsthand with individuals from other countries confronting the very same problems in a world which is increasingly globalized, the technology. What happens today is known tomorrow in China, or they're known the same day. I just thought that I was intrigued by the School of Public Policy, by the executive lecture series program, of which I'm one of the first invitees. And John Shattuck is a pretty persuasive cheerleader for the school. And I just thought it was the right thing to do, and I'm benefiting more than the students, I think, from the opportunity to be here and exchange views with people from all over the world.
Are there regional differences that you... Yeah, it's an obvious question, right?
Tremendous regional differences, but a common denominator. There may be regional differences. Every country has parochial problems. But what I find so amazing is that executive pay, what you pay somebody, it may be the level of pay may be a great deal different in Mexico, in Serbia, in Romania, in Uzbekistan. But the issue of who gets what, how it's determined, is it determined fairly or is it corrupt? The rule of law, principled decision-making. That is common in every country. People are asking the right questions. And to find sort of one place where over a 3-day period you can engage individuals, executives from all over the world on every issue from the BP oil spill fund to Wall Street pay to the 9/11 terrorist attacks, and do it in one place, in one forum, in one venue, invaluable. And so even though everybody's thanking me for coming, I'm the beneficiary, I think, of this.
As an institution, CEU is devoted to the promotion of open societies. And with our new School of Public Policy and International Affairs, we're looking to train tomorrow's leaders in the public sector. You've seen the consequences of reckless and human-made crises. What can these future leaders do to prevent or to manage these crises in the future?
I would say this. I would say no matter what country you're from or what region of the world you're from, if you don't have in a society an independent rule of law, if you don't have a blueprint in place to prevent harm, and once the harm occurs, to determine fault and compensation, then you're only one step removed from the jungle. I think the rule of law is critical. I think an independent judiciary is critical. And I think that all of the problems I've worked on, man-made, very difficult, horrible to contemplate, terrible tragedy, the resilience of the United States, the rule of law, the availability of judges, the creative public policy thinking that went into the 9/11 fund or the BP oil spill fund, I think is unique and should be emulated by other countries. But I think that if you don't have an independent rule of law that is respected, that is credible, that will be implemented, it's very, very difficult.
Which brings to bear one of the questions about trying to implement compensation funds like this in environments where maybe you don't have rule of law, or you have an incredibly ingrained level of institutional corruption. How does that transfer over?
Can't be done. Can't be done. I think that if the system you set up to compensate is riddled with corruption, bias, favoritism, unprincipled, then such a system falls on its own. It collapses of its own weight because it's not respected by the body politic, by the people. If you don't have a system which is perceived to be fair, whether you're a waiter, a busboy, a stockbroker, a banker, a soldier, a cop, a fireman, if it's not perceived to be fair, if it's not perceived to be open and transparent, it can't work. And it's a mistake to think that you can build these programs and then try and deal with bias and favoritism. There's got to be an understanding that the program from the get-go is fair and principled. Only that way can it succeed, as it has with the programs I've been involved in.